Alright guys, welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough, Indiana Jones style. In this episode we're going to go back into Lothric Castle to pick up some more upgrade materials. Now before we go into Lothric Castle though, we need to pick up some fire bombs. I like to get at least 11 fire bombs. So we get some fire bombs right here. And then we need to get the torch for later. It's only 300 souls, so it's not a big hit. And over here, we're going to upgrade our Chaos Blade to +3. And our Whip to +9. Now we're going to continue Greyrat's quest, so we need to talk to him and give him Loretta's bone. Now you'll need to talk to him another time to get a gesture, but he'll be grieving, so you won't be able to buy anything from him while he's grieving, so you'll have to come back after reloading the area again. And then he'll ask to pillage Undead Settlement, and we'll do that too, because we definitely want to do Greyrat's quest, because he gives us more stuff to buy. So our objective in Lothric Castle is to get Titanite chunks and Titanite scales. When we leave Lothric Castle this time, we'll have enough Titanite scales to fully upgrade a boss weapon, which will be the Demon Fist. And we'll only be 2 chunks shy of upgrading another weapon, which will be the Arbalest. We want to get the Arbalest to +9 before going into the DLC. Now you just want to drop off to the right and pick up this first chunk here. We didn't get it the first time through here. And across the way over there, you'll see that's an Undead Bone Shard. We'll get that. It's the last item before we leave the area. Now, as before, we're just going to try to avoid these guys. They hit really hard, so just try to be careful. If you stand by this tree here, you have a little more room to get up the stairs. And this guy will usually jump over you. And this time, we're just going to continue to run straight. We don't care about the dragons breathing fire. We just want to get to the other side. That door right ahead of us. So we're just going to run. Sometimes you'll get hit by fire, sometimes you won't. Now, stick to the far left as soon as you get through this door and get in this corner. You want to get your crossbow out and start shooting these guys up here. They will chunk fire bombs at you, and there's barrels down here, explosive barrels that will damage you very, very badly. And it's quite annoying because these guys just never stop throwing fire bombs. So there's 3 of them up here. Sometimes they'll come down the ladder and just let them down, and you can just finish them off when they come down. You can usually one-shot this guy in the head. Now we got to deal with the most annoying guy in this room. This guy up here. Sometimes he'll come down the stairs, and sometimes he won't. We're just going to use the wall for cover, and just keep shooting him while we can. When they're in mid-throw, you're usually not going to get a hit on them. You just got to hit them before they throw. Now that he's dead, we'll get our whip out and take this guy out. You'll quickly learn to love the whip because the whip has an advantage that other weapons do not. The whip can go through walls, and we're going to use that to our advantage, and I will show you many occasions where we're going to use it. Now, we need the black fire bombs and the regular fire bombs equipped. Very important we equip these now. There's a pus of man up here after we destroy the dragon's foot, and we need to be careful because this pus of man ain't playing around. So what we want to do before we do that, though, is stand right here by this corner and whip these 2 guys. Use the one-handed R2s for that nice sweeping attack. Now let's get our Chaos Blade out, double-hand it, and also get the black fire bombs out. We're going to hit the dragon's foot 3 times. Now, very important that you don't use all the black fire bombs. Only use 5 of them right here. Use 5. It's very important you keep 1 of them. So just keep chunking until you get to 1 fire bomb left. And then switch to the regular fire bombs. And then finish the pus of man off. Just keep spamming. You don't want to give him any room to attack you. You'll get 2 chunks and 2 embers for that kill there. And a large Titanite shard. Now, go through this door. There's nothing through that other area. So we want to come through here and follow the path around and get another chunk. And then there's a scale up ahead. And there's where we died last time, where we let the dragon kill us. Refined gem, we're not going to use that though. Lightning urns. Now, We could go drop off and get the Undead Bone Shard, but we don't want to respawn these annoying enemies in this room, so we're just going to come back in this room, but instead of following the stairs up, we're going to go back up the ladder and then take a right and take this flight of stairs here, but don't go too far up because we want to draw out some enemies here and not have to deal with that firebomb chunking enemy up there. So we're just going to take them out one at a time. The whip is pretty much going to one-shot all these enemies, except for this guy. He takes 2 shots. Now, very careful here. We want to take out the lantern guy first because there's a lot of enemies in this room that he will awaken. We can use our whip to go through the wall, and around the corner are 2 assassin hollows. Let's take them out before they get a chance to kill us. And get the scale, and now we're just going to kill all the enemies in the room before dealing with the mimic. And this mimic ain't playing around. This is not a normal mimic, guys. We have to be very careful. And make sure you have the blue tearstone ring equipped. There's another enemy right here. And here. You want to destroy all the furniture in the room before dealing with the mimic too, because you don't want to get caught on something when dealing with the mimic. There's another one. Be careful if you use the whip here. You don't want to aggro the mimic just yet. This mimic is interesting because he's got a different moveset, and his he loves to jump on you and eat you. So you can survive a leap attack where he eats you as long as you have the blue tearstone ring equipped, because you'll see here where it saves me. What he'll usually do is he'll jump on you, or attempt to jump on you, and then he'll spit and use his tongue, and that's pretty much his moveset. But yeah, the main thing is don't try to attack him unless he's already done his jump, because you know he's going to do his spit move or his lick move, and then he'll do the jump again. Only attack when he's done his jump, just right after he's done his jump, and you won't get hit probably from the jump attack. And for killing him, we'll get a whopping 3 Titanite scales. Getting these scales is huge, guys, because we'll be able to upgrade the Demon Fist to +4 as soon as we get it, which is huge. Now, we want to jump off here, and we're not dealing with this Lothric Knight and his buddy. We're just going to run past him and get into the door to the right. And they won't follow you into the next room. So we want to stick to the right here and go into this area, and they won't follow you. Go up these little stairs and turn right, and you'll get some rusted coins, but more importantly, you'll get another scale. Now 180 and come through this next door here and take a right. You'll get the red tearstone ring here. Now the next thing we want to do is unlock a shortcut. We're not going to use it right now, but when we come back later to kill the boss, this will be really nice to have. So we're going to go ahead and trigger this shortcut, but we're not going to use it. So just step on the plate and get off. This will send the elevator down, and we'll get to that door right there that's locked. And we want to go up this ladder here. There's some archers up here and a big dude, but we'll avoid them. But what you want to do is stick to the left here around these dormers. Try not to fall off and get this Titanite chunk. Now try to run in a zigzag pattern so you don't get hit by the archers. Kind of like this. Now, when you go down this ladder, the big dude will follow you down here, so just get ready to kill him. We don't want to fight him and the Lothric Knight at the same time, so we're just going to kill him. I usually just like to backstab him, because he's got slow attacks where you can just get behind him and then just finish him off. Now this is the Knight's Ring here. This will give you 5 extra strength. We're not going to use it, but it's nice to have. Now we're not fighting this guy. This guy is not your normal Lothric Knight. He means business. He'll buff his blade with some kind of blessed, and it's just not worth it. Just open the door and draw him out of the room. You're invincible when you're opening a door, thank God. Now we want to draw him to the corner over here, and we want to loot the chest. You could get the Praise the Sun gesture from the altar if you have time, but we didn't have time here. But it's adjacent to this chest if you want to get it. We'll get 3 more Titanite scales. There's the altar right there. Now, as long as you stick to the... like, sit there right here by this tree, he won't come out the door for some reason. He'll just start attacking the wall. Now, we need to deal with another Pus of Man. Let's go ahead and de-equip the black firebomb so we don't accidentally use that last one, because we need to trade it with the crows. Now, just lock on and try not to fall off. You got to be careful with your footing here, because your momentum could possibly take you off. But we're just going to chunk all of our firebombs at this Pus of Man. You just got to position yourself to make sure you don't fall off, and that you're actually hitting the Pus of Man. Once you run out of firebombs, just switch to the crossbow and finish it off. Make sure you have a decent amount of health before dropping down, because we don't have the cat ring, so we're going to take some good damage here. You get another large Titanite shard, but more importantly, there's a mimic down here. Now, this is a regular mimic. This drops the Sunlight straight sword. We're not going to use it, but we get nice souls from the mimic. And he's here, so we might as well kill him. A lot easier to deal with this mimic than the other one. And there's a Divine Tome down here, too, if you want to do Arena's quest. Don't forget to get this soul item, but don't drop off here. You will drop off, but not right there. There's your Divine Tome, and we're pretty much done with this area. Now we can get the Undead Bone Shard and leave. We're not coming back to this area until we're ready to fight the boss, which is going to be quite a while. Let's drop off right here gingerly and get the Undead Bone Shard, which will take us to +3 Estus. Now we need to go back to Firelink. Now, when we get back to Firelink, we need to try to do our tree jump again that we did in our first episode, because we need to trade with the crows by using the black firebomb to get another Titanite chunk, because we only have 10 chunks. We need 12 chunks to get an Arbalist to +9, so we got 17 Titanite scales. That is enough to fully upgrade a boss weapon, which will be the Demon's Fist. So let's go ahead and de-equip all of our equipment. And as before, it just takes practice to get the tree jump just right. I'm not going to edit it out. It only took me a few attempts, so you'll see my failures. Now, right here is where Patches will be. Patches is one of the most important merchants in the game, so forgive him no matter what he does all the time. And we'll do his quest as well as Sigurd's quest. We're not going to do all the NPC quests, but those are some that we are definitely going to do. Now, see my failure there. I think I get it on like the 3rd or 4th try. Third try. 3rd time's the charm. Alright. Now, to trade with the crows. A black firebomb for a Titanite chunk. That's why we didn't want to use all of them. We wanted to have at least one left. Eventually you can buy them from Patches, but Patches isn't for a while, so we want to make sure we go ahead and trade with the crows. And get that precious chunk. Alternatively, if you really wanted some, you could just go back to Untended Graves and kill the Grave Wardens until they randomly drop one, but there's no telling. It's a bad drop rate. It does drop, but it's just, without any item discovery, it's going to be tough. But we do want to get 12 Titanite chunks to get Arbalist to +9 immediately when we get Arbalist. This weapon is essential for us in the DLC, so we must have it. And we're going to stock up on a ton of bolts. Large bolts and regular bolts. It's going to make the DLC so much easier with a fully upgraded Arbalest. Well, not fully. We won't use a slab on it right away. Our first slab is going to be used on the whip. Second will be on Chaos Blade. And third will be Arbalest. Now let's go talk to the grieving Grey Rat, and he will give us a gesture. But we can't buy any bolts from him yet. Now we're going to go to the Handmaiden and go ahead and pick up some Titanite shards, because we don't have enough to get Arbalest. We just want to make sure we have all of the stuff ready for Arbalest when we get it. So we have enough large Titanite shards, but we don't have enough regular shards. Of course, we could pick some up along the way, but I just like to go ahead and buy them already. So just make sure you have enough for 12, because that's how much it takes to get to the next tier. So we'll need 7 for what we got right now. Now we're going to upgrade our level here. We want to get our strength to 20. Reason being, we want to be able to wield Bone Fist immediately when we get it. So let's go ahead and pump those in there. Now make sure to use your Undead Bone Shard to go to +3 here. No doubt. Now we're going back to the Undead Settlement. We'll be able to just one-shot most every enemy in this area, except for the big dudes. Now, there are a lot of reasons we need to come to the Undead Settlement. We need to talk to an NPC and rescue him. We need to kill a boss. And we also need a ring. All these items are essential. So, for the future anyway. So, we're just going to get all that done before moving on. The whip is so good, guys, I'm telling you. Even though it's fully upgraded and everything, well, nearly fully upgraded, just the range it has is just, it's astounding. Before we didn't go through the house, so now we're going to go through the house. Let's go ahead and switch to our Cestus double hand, and so we can plunge attack this idiot. These little ninjas think they can get the best of us. Now there is one that's going to drop down here. Be careful. And you can hear him. Now, we want to stick to the right here and go across this bridge. Try not to aggro the enemies on the left. There'll be a few enemies to greet you through the doorway. Dispatch them and then stick to the right. Now, get your crossbow out because you're going to be using it right here. You got a couple of these ninjas, gray rat looking enemies. I forget what they're called. Thralls, I think they're called. This one's got like a blow dart. And you can snipe this one in the head. And there's another one off in the distance. We can take him out. Now be careful, there's 2 more that are going to come right after you get past this rock here. Formation here. We're just going to... I got lucky and got the boss backstab on this one. Now, contrary to what people have said, and we make sure we do this jump here. It's kind of tricky. Not really, but don't fall off. Now, contrary to what people have said, I have seen this guy aggro on me before and I didn't do anything. So you're not 100% safe. I don't care what anybody said because I saw this guy come at me. So it only happened once, but it did happen. Now this one, you got to be tricky. It's kind of tricky here. You don't want this item to fall to the bottom, so you want to kind of knock it over away from the ledge. Now I know I didn't hit the guy either. Now that's going to give you the flame stone plate ring. Oh my god, you're going to need this ring later. At least it's going to help a lot. You'll need fire defense through more than one means. You'll need a ring, you'll need some red pellets. Anything you can use, you're going to want to use it. That's why we're going out of our way to get the ring now. Now get your whip out and stand right here, and you can get both of these guys in one hit. And we'll get the crossbow out, and we can snipe the little sneaky guy up top, hanging on like the ceiling chandelier looking thing. Don't approach him right away. He's got a greatsword, and I don't like these greatsword thralls. They hit you pretty hard. But we can kill him pretty easily. Now, we want to go talk to an NPC so we can do his little quest. Now, he's going to be able to give us the spotted whip later. So, if you don't do his quest, you can't get the spotted whip. The spotted whip isn't particularly great, but we are going to get all of our whips, seeing this is an Indiana Jones build, and we want all of the whips. Now, I don't know how I managed to do a boss plunge attack on this guy, but it was pretty sweet. You can do a 180 and get a Titanite shard up here. And now we're going to unlock another bonfire. The cliff underside bonfire. Now, you want to continue on and up these rooftops. I don't know why I tried to be cheeky here. You can snipe one of them. I couldn't snipe the second guy. I should have just walked in and used my whip. I just kind of wasted some time here. But you can hit one of them. I couldn't hit the second guy for the life of me. But, yeah. Just go and use your whip. Don't waste time. Or Cestus will one-shot him, probably. Another demonstration with our whip can go around walls and through walls. Now, talk to this guy. He'll warp back to Firelink and become your pyromancy vendor. Now, we mainly just want to use him for the spotted whip. Now, be careful down here because there's a big dude down here, and I hate these guys. But it's worth coming down here to get this ring here. This will increase your fire damage, although it will give you, it'll make you take more damage. And the amount it gives you isn't that much, so it's really not that worth using, I don't think. We might use it with the Demon Fist, since the Demon Fist is always on fire. Now you want to come over here. You don't have to take these guys out. They're not going to do anything. I just like killing things. Now there's some dogs coming up that you might want to get ready for those guys. Now we're going to kill a boss. It's like a tree boss with an infinite amount of enemies that spawn, but the enemies are easy to kill, especially right now. We could just run past these guys. You don't have to fight all these guys. But there's this dogs, man. Dogs in this game are aggressive, and they never lose aggro, it seems. This one follows me all the way to the damn boss room, it seemed. But always use your fire weapons if you have them. Or one-shot them with the whip. Well, we're going to get Chaos Blade, double-handed, and we're going to make short work of this boss with a +3 Chaos Blade, trust me. You can get rid of a few of the guys, but you want to go for his crotch. Hit him 3 times in the crotch. And then look for this one right here. Try to hit it. And then they'll go into his second phase. He'll just stomp the floor and go through it. Just make sure to heal when you land. And go to town on the crotch again. This will unlock the hand. The hand will come out. And that's the next thing you want to hit. I don't know why I was trying to hit this thing. Wasn't paying attention. Got hit by the hand. But, yeah, that's easy. It's easy with Chaos Blade. We'll get the Transposing Kiln. Now this is important, guys, because we need this to unlock our boss weapon vendor. And we're going to go ahead and use it right now. Because we killed 2 bosses. Champion Gundyr and Vort. The first enemy, I think it was the second boss we fought. Minus the tutorial boss. And they're going to both give us rings that we don't have to pay for. It costs 0 souls. So we're going to give this guy up here on this throne the transposing kiln, and we'll be able to get these 2 rings. And we're going to use the prisoner's chain, which is what we get from Champion Gundyr's soul. It's like a ring of favor and protection, but it never breaks. It gives you a boost in several stats. So yeah, vigor, endurance, and vitality. But you will take 4% more damage, but that's not that much. And it's definitely worth it. And you'll also get the left pontiff's eye, which will give you extra HP for consecutive hits. But let's go ahead and put on prisoner's chain. Now we need to talk to Grey Rat yet again. And this time he'll ask us to pillage. Let him go. But before you leave, spend all your souls on bolts. We're just going to use the regular bolts. We're spending 19,000 souls. We want to stock up on a ton of bolts. We want to make sure we don't have a problem with ammo when we go into the DLC. Which will be a few episodes away, but we are going into the Ashes of Ariandel's DLC. And the more bolts we have, the more easy our life will be. Now, on to Crucifixion Woods Bonfire that we unlocked already. And we're going to go kill another boss called the Crystal Sage boss. And we're going to go talk to another NPC and get his quest started. Now, he's a sorcerer, and we're not using sorcery, but he has a ring as a reward for doing this quest, and we want that ring. So we're going to go ahead and do his quest as well. I always have trouble finding this area. It's very nearby. You just got to look for the building. You could just run through the hole in the wall. You don't have to fight these enemies. And of course, there's a damn dog. God, dogs are just the worst. They're so aggressive and never lose aggro. Now, in these ruins, there's these mages and a lot of his buddies. But right here, let's just go ahead and backstab this guy leaning against the wall. Don't let the lantern guy see you right now. And you can get your whip out and whip him through the wall. And we're just going to snipe this idiot. He'll just spam his spells. We could charge him, but why? We're just going to just pelt him with bolts here. We'll just dispatch all these enemies in this room. And we're going to go look for Orbeck is the next NPC we need to talk to. He's the sorcerer. And he'll want us to find scrolls for him. And now you have to find and give him at least one scroll before killing the one of the bosses. I think it's the Abyss Watchers. Yeah, the Abyss Watchers. Now, I must say, I didn't talk to this guy at first on one of my other files, and I beat the Abyss Watchers, and he was still there to talk to. So, as long as you don't talk to him, you can kill the Abyss Watchers and still do his quest. It's just if you talk to him and kill the Abyss Watchers, then you can't do it. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. Just to be safe, we'll give him the scroll before we kill the Abyss Watchers. Now, there's a ring of sacrifice up here, which is why we're going up here. You just want to drop off right here and do a 180. And then we're going to go find Orbeck. So we're just going to backtrack a little bit. You just want to go straight, right here. And stick to the right. It's kind of a little hidden area. Not the easiest to find. And then as soon as you get off to the top of the stairs here, there's a little door. And here's Orbeck. You'll need 10 intelligence to talk to him, but with my character that I picked, he already had 10 intelligence. So he'll go back to Firelink. Now here I make a mistake. You can drop down here and just run to the boss, but you're going to get ambushed by a ton of enemies, and I didn't anticipate all these enemies down here. There's a ton of them. It's kind of a cluster I kind of get into. Yeah, like right here. But again, the whip goes to, oh, yeah, I got sandwiched there. It's best to just take your time in this area. I was just getting a little impatient. You can see with the guys doing spells from a distance, and these little hollows with spears can be a problem. You guys take 2 hits from the whip. And they'll do this kind of a charged up attack too that'll hit pretty hard. Now, for the boss, and we're going to trivialize this boss, guys. He's not even going to get to go into his second phase. If you hit him twice and then kind of don't hit him 3 times in a row, hit him twice, and then hit him 2 more times to make him bleed, and then you just keep hitting him once, and he'll never go into his second phase. So hit him twice, then a 3, 4, then he bleeds, and then just don't let him teleport, and he's done. What a joke. Well, with Chaos Blade, it's a joke. Don't forget to light the bonfire as I walked away like an idiot, but I did realize it came back. Like, oh, I need to actually light the bonfire. Now we're going to kill 2 more crystal lizards coming up. You got to be kind of quick. Kill them both. We're only 3 Twinkling Titanite away from fully upgrading the Chaos Blade, so we want to make sure we go ahead and get all these Titanite lizards here. Crystal lizards. And there's 2 more that we're going to get, but we only need 1 more to fully upgrade the Chaos Blade. And these enemies have a ton of health. We're just going to ignore this guy and go to the next area. I don't think he follows you to the bonfire. There's a bonfire up here. Then we're going to get our whip out and kill this little bandit down here that's guarding the Paladins Ashes. The Paladins Ashes are good because they'll give us a ring called the Lloyd's Shield Ring, which is very nice to have. It's like a blue tearstone ring that activates when you're at full health. So we're just going to fully charge double hand our whip, and this guy won't even be able to touch us. And there's the Paladin's Ashes. There's another guy up here that has the spider shield, remember from Dark Souls 1. Although this shield isn't the greatest, it doesn't fully block toxic like in Dark Souls 1. You want to drop off here, and there's a little path you can take all the way to the top that has a crest shield. And then we can kind of plunge attack the guy from above, although I miss it terribly. But you'll get the jump on him regardless. I just try to roll. You should be able to brute force your way through him anyway. But we're going to use the whip again. No problem. Now this next area is annoying because it has dogs, and it has a lot of dogs, so we're going to use our bandit knife for sure. And we're going to stick to the left, even though there's archers in this area too, but even though we're going into this area with the rocks as protection, the dogs are still a problem. They still just seem to hit you all the time. There's more than one of them. Plus you got the archer there as you're dealing with the dog, so this is still the best area to go through. Go this path. But we're going to take out all the enemies because we don't like them. And there's some items over here. I just recommend using the knife for the dogs. And just go ahead and get through the arbalist shooting guys. That will be our crossbow of choice soon, once we get it. Until we get Avalon, but Avalon's not for a very long time, so... I still think Avalon is the best crossbow in the game, but because we don't get it until late game, it's just, you know, I have to have something better than the light crossbow that hits hard, and Arbalest is definitely the choice. Now we're going to get our crossbow out and snipe this, they call them bombers. They'll just run at you. They'll set themselves ablaze and just run at you and explode on you. We can one-shot this guy in the head. Now we just want to go through and unlock this bonfire. But before you go, make sure you take a right and get the notched whip. It's not nearly as good as it was in Dark Souls 2, but it's still a whip. Now this guy on the right of the altar here, he is going to be our entrance into the DLC, which we will go into not this episode or the next episode, but the one after that we'll go into it. The next episode we'll be going through Cathedral of the Deep, and then we're going to go into... Actually, I think it's going to be a couple more videos after that. It's not going to be until we go into the catacombs and get a few more items. Because we want to get the Demon's Fist before we go into the DLC. Let's kill this guy here. Now get the whip out and you can one-shot all these guys. And they're guarding an Estus Shard. Now, we got the torch earlier. And this is why you want it. Because there's a leech monster down here. And if he hits you, you're going to get these leeches on you that constantly do bleed. Now, if you never get hit, you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, you're likely going to get hit at some point. So the leeches, they never stop. It seems like they never stop doing bleed damage to you. So I like to use the bandit knife because these enemies are extremely weak to fire. So any kind of fire weapon will work well against them. And I just like to, as soon as they jump, I just like to roll behind, just roll and just hit them, and I never get hit. But just as a precaution, we're having the torch out. This will not be the last you see of these enemies either. Now, let's get our Chaos Blade because we need to get another Crystal Lizard, and this will be the last Crystal Lizard we need to get the last... This is the last Twinkling Titanite we need to get our Chaos Blade to +4. There is another Crystal Lizard in the area, though, and we're going to kill it as well. And there's a Titanite lizard. I think that's what they're called. Titanite lizards to the left there that drop the scales. Even though we have enough scales to fully upgrade our Demon Fist, we're still going to collect scales because there's another boss weapon that we are going to collect. Although I don't know how much I'm going to invest in it because it requires faith. And we are going to use a faith build in this walkthrough. I have decided that faith is the way to go. For a few reasons. Now we'll get the scale there, get our torch back out because there's another leech enemy in this little path here. And they can still, as long as they hit you once, that's all it takes. And we'll get the poison bite ring here. Now there's a item, there's a Titanite shard around here somewhere. I don't know why I'm going on my way to get it. It's just a Titanite shard. It's not like it's a big deal. I guess I just don't like to leave anything behind. If if I know it's there. There's a Titanite shard there, but there's another one across the way there. You have to go around. But yeah, in the next episode, guys, we're going to go in through the Cathedral of the Deep, begin Patch's quest, and Sigurd's quest as well. They kind of intertwine together, so you have to be careful how you do the quests. But I'll make sure everything is straightforward and as clear to understand as possible. But there's a Titanite shard there. Now we're just going to go back to the bonfire. And that's going to be it for the episode, guys. Like I said, Cathedral of the Deep is the next episode. It's going to be quite a long episode, though, because Cathedral of the Deep is not very short. It's actually pretty long. But there's a lot of good things we're going to get out of Cathedral of the Deep. But let's go ahead and go back to Firelink to end the episode. And we're going to fully upgrade our weapon to +4. The Chaos Blade will be at +4. And we're going to go ahead and buy some large bolts off of Grey Rat because he's back from his pillage mission. And we'll make sure we use our Estus shard here. And we'll get our Chaos Blade to +4. Amazing to get a weapon of this caliber. This weapon this early is just amazing. Now, Grey Rat. Large bolts, guys. As many as you can get. I don't care how much souls I'm spending. I want as many bolts as possible before going into the DLC. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next one.